Most traders think they have a strategy problem, but in reality, they have a psychology problem. Let's chat.
About something that I wish I knew when I started my trading journey. Because until you fix this, every strategy you use will eventually fail. Ultimately, it becomes clear that trading isn't just a technical skill, it's a psychological battlefield. And most traders walk into that battlefield completely unprepared. When traders start their journey, they usually believe the same thing. If I can just find the right strategy, then I'll be profitable. So you start searching, you download indicators, you watch strategy videos, you even copy entry signals. For a while it feels like progress, but eventually something happens. The strategy stops working, or at least it feels like it stops working. So what do? You abandon it, and then you move on to the next one, and the next strategy, and then the next one, and then the next one. Indicator after indicator, system after system, method after method. This is what traders call strategy hopping. But strategy hopping isn't really about the strategy. It's about psychological discomfort. The moment a trader experiences a few losses, doubt begins to creep in, and once doubt enters the mind, discipline disappears. The truth is that most traders don't fail because their strategy is bad. They fail because their psychology collapses under the pressure. Let's see what that looks like. The starting point of this psychological battlefield is perfectionism. Some traders believe they must find the perfect entry, the perfect system, the perfect analysis, and discipline is taken to an extreme, which leads to analysis paralysis. But the market is not a game of perfection. It's a game of probabilities. And it's very likely that you miss 90% of good trades because you are over-analyzing noise instead of trusting your system. Over-leveraging. This is a ticking time bomb. A trader will use excessive lot size to make money faster, often to make up for the missed trades. This will backfire at some point as their drawdown is unmanageable. Then there's poor risk management. Usually traders understand risk in theory. We know how to calculate it. But when real money is involved, emotion takes over. However, there's another side to this. When a trader is wrong, they hold the losing trade longer than they should and cling to hope. Or they close winning trades way too early because they're afraid of losing the profit. These two events needs to be switched around. Now, human beings are psychologically wired to hate losses. It's part of our built-in survival mechanism. Therefore, this psychological stumbling block needs a bit more intensive work. Then comes revenge trading, the final stage of the breakdown, and where logic is completely replaced by raw emotion. Probably the most insidious of them all, because as traders, we tend to justify and defend this one in so many ways. Here you take impulsive trades that were never part of the plan, and it's here where you will double down on losing positions to get it all back. You are in recovery mode here. All of these I mentioned leads to the same outcome. A strategy that should work gets destroyed by the trader's own psychology. Share with me which one of these you battle with the most. Here's something all traders should implement at the start of their trading journey, but only realize it often when it's too late. Successful traders don't prioritize mastering strategies before they prioritize mastering themselves, because they understand something critical. The market will always create emotional pressure. Things like fear, greed, doubt, even frustration. If your mind cannot handle those emotions, no strategy in the world will save you. But when you develop psychological control, everything changes. Losses stop feeling personal, discipline becomes easier, even patience becomes natural. And suddenly the strategy that once was impossible to execute becomes consistent. Not because the strategy changed, but because you changed. Over the last several years, I've studied what separates struggling traders from consistent ones. And through that process, I built a psychological framework designed specifically for traders. A system that trains the mental skills required to survive the emotional pressures of the market. But before we talk about that, there's something you need to understand first. Profitable traders all share a very specific psychological profile. And once you recognize these traits, you start to see trading very differently. In the next video, I'm going to show you the psychological traits that every profitable trader has. Traits that separate consistent traders from the ones that keep blowing their accounts. Because once you understand these traits, you'll start to see exactly what's been holding you back.